recently posted on my story asking you guys what are things you've been struggling to style or just need help with. And I got a lot of responses, which was super fun because I love to help style or give style inspo. So this video felt perfect to do. So while I do have some of these pieces, obviously I don't have all of them. The best way to give you guys style inspo was in three different ways: either outfit inspo through photos, a style guide mood board of something that I've created, and then finally, if I have the item, actually styling it of how I would wear it. Aesthetic way of Pinterest, you're getting it how I would style if we had unlimited budgets, and then how I actually do wear it on the daily. So let's get into the video and let's have some fun. Grab yourself a nice cup of coffee if you haven't yet, or if you have a non-caffeinated beverage, and let's get into it. Up first, we have someone asking to help them style brown pants, which, as we know, I have one pair that I love. So I'm super excited to get into this one. So I think the best way to get into figuring out how to style something is, let's break it down first, right? A brown pant, at the end of the day, at its root, strip it all the way down, it's just a pant. And pants are very easy to style. So I don't think it's the pants aspect that's an issue. It's obviously the color brown being more of the issue of why you can't figure out how to style it. So first, we can talk about color. So as we know, brown is a neutral, which means it obviously will pair well with other neutrals. It looks beautiful. You will always look super presentable in those neutrals. So going back to basics, we can do neutrals first as the colors. Next, I do want to address, brown comes from just mixing the three primary colors together. So blue, red, and yellow. And with that, they look so good together. I think most of the time you'll always see red and brown as a consistent color combo, especially during fall. And people kind of move towards burgundy too, which still stems from red, especially styling blue and brown together. If you saw my magazine outfit inspo video, the magazines talked about brown and icy blue being that perfect color combo, and I agree, super underrated. Don't be afraid to go for that one. Baby yellow, butter yellow with brown looks really good together. You can always look up with like sneakers, for example. I think of like Adidas has a pair of these brown butter yellow shoes, and I think with a hint of purple. And like that right there, that little sneaker can give you your outfit color inspo for the day too. So like I kind of said in the intro, I love making little style guide lookbooks. In a dream world, I would just be a stylist. It'd be so fun. I thought it'd be fun to include, some of these styling outfit inspos, because in case you do have something very similar in your closet that I don't own, then it's perfect for you. Or if you have been looking for some new pieces, then I have these all in my LTK, so then you can check it out. But also just good inspo to take even if you want to thrift these items. So it's just fun. I love making these little style guides, so I really wanted to. This one I think is super me. It's definitely playing into, our loose fitting slacks, like I said. And I think what's really great about this look, for example, compared to maybe some of the Pinterest photos we saw, you can definitely actually play down brown slacks, which is something I didn't necessarily say. Pair of sneakers that you have, I would say, like these ones are that are a little bit more sleek, not so much of a chunky shoe, but kind of a shoe that feels like a penny loafer in a way. That's what you want to kind of play into here. A lover of doing black and brown together. And I know I said from neutrals from the start, so we're playing into that for sure. But, I love that icy blue and, dark brown together. So I want to add that in with this little belt, playing in with a fun pair of blue glasses to tie it all in. Now, on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, I did obviously want to show it in a more professional style, not even professional in like a corporate workplace, but, if you just want to, dress up a little bit nicer for some type of special event, I think this does just that. I sometimes really do like when your bottoms just perfectly match your shoes. It really just kind of elongates the body, and it's like, ugh, she thought it through perfectly. The most important part of this look though is that blazer. I love the color. Burgundy purple. It just like looks so good. I think yet again, we're playing into what I said with, the reds and burgundies with browns. They're a perfect color combination with it. So if you have that in your closet, definitely play around, grab all those things and see where they mesh perfectly. I want to start off with the one that will take the most energy to do, and then we'll get a little bit more casual. So obviously this look falls more into the corporate side or just more elevated. So like I said before, we're playing into those neutrals. I know not everyone's a fan of black and brown together, but I think it's a really good combination, and tucking in our shirt underneath, but adding this little vest on top, it kind of ties the whole look together. I want to give one more look with neutrals because in my personal closet, that's where my brown pants thrive the most in. And this one is also a little bit more casual than our last look. So just to have some differences. For me, I love having a belt with these pants. And, for a little bit more comfort in this one, I added my long duster cardigan. It's a 10 out of 10 in my book. If your brown tailored pants happen to be, that nice tailored slack, then I've said it once and I'll say it again. I love a shapeless look with them. To be comfortable during fall, and this is the perfect outfit to do just that. But also, we're playing into not the icy blue per se, but our nice blue and brown color combo. You really can't go wrong with this type of look. We definitely have a fun mix of items here for sure. The next one just happens to be another pair of bottoms again, which are gingham shorts. Ooh. Not sure about the specifics of this, but to me, when someone says gingham shorts, I do first think of the gingham boxer shorts, like a loose fitting gingham short, boxer adjacent for sure. So I'll speak on that first, but then we have some gingham shorts that are a little bit more high waisted or a little bit nicer fitting. This might be a hot take, but I think you actually need to style them for what they are, which is a very, very casual item. Because listen, there's for sure items in our wardrobes where it's a casual item and you can play it up into fancier, and a fancier item that you can play down to casual. We definitely have pieces like that. But I think this, it really is kind of like a pajama short at the end of the day. And you can only go so far with that, right? Gingham short can be just casual. You can toss on a cute little top and a cardigan with it, and I think that works really well. Don't overthink it. It's not meant to be more than it is. It look presentable, but really it's a comfort thing. I think this one is a good first example of what I mean, where you don't need to exert more energy into upstyling a gingham boxer short than you need to. This feels like a very like college me outfit in a way where, this is what I would throw on if I'm like rushing to class. I think that's the energy of what you should give when styling a gingham boxer short is imagine you're in a rush in a way. You don't have time to overthink it. You'll probably come out with an outfit that looks pretty good. So, like I said earlier, I want to show gingham shorts in a way where they're not the boxer short style, a nicer short that you could wear out a date night, girls' night out, those types of events. And that's why I was so excited to do these style guides because Pinterest doesn't always, show you exactly what you want to see. They'll give you kind of those most popular photos. And so, this first one I have is a gingham micro short. Maybe this feels very Carrie Bradshaw to me. Anytime I see those type of heels, I always think Carrie Bradshaw. And this kind of reminds me of, honestly, one scene from the show where she loses Pete, the dog. I'm literally forgetting the main character, the boyfriend's name. I was about to look it up and then I remembered. It's Aiden. The fact that I remembered Pete over Aiden is crazy. I love this top because it has that ruffle hem like I talked about in my fall trend predictions video. That's definitely coming back. I think it's fun to tie a little bandana scarf on your purse from time to time if you feel like you're lacking in color. Truly the classiest of the bunch, which is a high-waisted gingham short. You thought I wouldn't add a burgundy tight into the mix? Of course I had to, especially with these little high-waisted shorts. They feel so perfect to try and implement tights. I think shorts and tights can be a little more difficult to style together, and that works perfectly in my head. And yet again, that icy blue and brown coming through throughout the video. Whoa, 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 what do we have here? The gingham boxer short. This is what I mean with these. Don't overthink it. I think you can do loafers with them. I think you can do ballet flats, but I don't think you need to make the boxer short more upscale. I think there's so many other things out there that are, meant to be nicer outfits or bottoms that you may own that you can dress up or dress down. This is an example of an item in your closet where it's meant to be what it is. It's meant to be a comfy casual short. But let me show you some other ways. This to me is where I see the closest getting to kind of dressing up a little bit with the boxer shorts for sure. I think this is still very much like a daytime outfit. Going monochrome or wearing a matching outfit always has an effect of a little bit of a nicer outfit. But also here it is in red. I told you, I love a matching set, but these aren't necessarily matching. Still very casual in a way, but they're very fun. I really do love the gingham short because there's also like, as much as I think they're like casual and comfy, they also just feel like a fun short. It's a little bit out of the norm compared to, just wearing denim shorts. Up next, we have a long cardigan that just covers the butt and duster cardigans. I want to combine these two together. So most duster cardigans that I've seen tend to be more on the neutrals. I haven't seen as many like funky pattern duster cardigans unless they're either vintage or, secondhand. So I'm going to talk about them more on the neutral side. And so the thing about a duster cardigan is in a way they almost remind me of a bathrobe. I should say that in a really positive way. When I think of bathrobes, I think of something very cozy and comfortable, which is kind of the equivalent of a duster cardigan. And so with that, I think they really work and pair well with a casual outfit. They're very simple and plain. You're having just your blue jeans on and like maybe a tank top or a t-shirt, and you just throw that duster cardigan over, and It's just comfort at the end of the day. I think a way to kind of upscale it and make it a little bit nicer is maybe styling it with a pair of boots, either knee-high or ankle boots. I think that pairs really well with the duster cardigan, especially if you just do a straight leg jean. If you do happen to have more of a vintage style duster cardigan, I have these two examples here from Pinterest where play into the fun colors and like go crazy with it. You can so take from the 90s. I see this one photo where it's styled classic and clean, the 90s minimalism, where you have your white t-shirt on, cinched in belt and those pleated pants, and then just throwing the cardigan over. It looks super stylish, but above all else, she looks very comfortable. And so for me, how I would style a duster cardigan, playing into yet again what I talked about, that neutral cardigan. And more importantly, the way that I chose to dress up that duster cardigan is by adding a little boot. It pairs really nicely, like I said, with that straight leg jean. It's a very simple look, but it has all these clean lines throughout the outfit that you not only get presentable, but also comfort, which is ideal with this cardigan look. And the second one I have is dream outfit in my opinion. So I think the best cardigans that cover your butt are from the men's section. I have mine from Calvin Klein that I love, and it was like men's section super on sale. And yet again, I'm playing into that 90s minimalism that we very clearly see works well with these cardigans, where I have a tailored short, tucking in my white shirt, cinching in the belt. Something that definitely is a little bit weirder is these are long pleated trouser shorts, and they're going to actually meet at the knee with the boot. So in a way, you're making yourself a little bit warmer for the fall weather that's coming up without wearing tights. And also it's a really funky aspect of, the 2020s fashion, in my opinion. Not everyone loves this duo of the shorts meeting the boots, but I do. I think it comes together really nicely. And so that's how I would style it. We are so playing into 90s minimalism with this outfit. Now we have our little duster cardigan, the cardigan that covers our butt. You want to think of this cardigan as a very easy accessory to tie with. So our actual outfit is just, a black t-shirt tucked into our pants with a belt on, kind of almost summer outfits in a way, and then you add this on, and now you have a really great fall outfit. Like I said, cardigans are just meant to be thrown over. They're really loungy, and so 90s minimalism is your best friend with that. Say you don't have, or you're not interested in, in high-waisted pants, or you don't have a belt, you can still very much implement the same look, right? We have a nice pair of tailored pants that are obviously low rise. I didn't even add a belt for this look. And your white t-shirt on top, very simple outfit. And then, you're just throwing on your nice little cardigan. This is the one I talk about that I love. I got from the Calvin Klein's men's section. I think if you grab, some of your nicer quality tailored pieces. White shirt is truly one of my favorites. I got so lucky thrifting it. It has such a nice material. And these pants as well. You take those nice pieces and then you put on a nice little comfort element and you come together with a really great piece overall. I'd say this is such a Carrie Bradshaw outfit. But yet again, I just love the duster cardigan for what it is, which is like comfort above all else. Up next, we have the bomber jacket. So I'm intrigued by the fact that this might be something that's difficult to style, because to me, anytime I see a piece of outerwear, I think you have to separate it from creating the outfit around it. For example, a lot of these bomber jackets, outfit inspo that are coming up are really on the more sportier side. You're wearing your cuffed jeans and a sweatshirt of some sort or a hoodie, and it looks a little bit more sporty or a little bit more casual, but that's not necessarily like the only fashion inspo that exists for the bomber jacket, which is why I was so intrigued that Pinterest was only really showing that style of photos. Put your outfit on, whatever you're going to wear, and just pop that bomber jacket on top. That, like, truly, that's the strategy that you should be aiming to do. But obviously there's scenarios, right, where proportions don't fit well or something feels off when adding that, so we can look into that. I own this brown bomber jacket that I got off eBay. I wear it all the time. I have always just popped it on after I put on my outfit. I think you have to factor in the length of your bomber jacket, because there are bomber jackets that are cropped that kind of fall on your like waist, and then there's bomber jackets that fall on your hips. Let's elaborate a little bit more. If you have a cropped bomber jacket, it's a little bit more difficult during fall to wear it. It's landing here, and then you have extra fabric peeking out underneath that either it's getting cinched in by the jacket you're putting on, and then you have excess fabric that isn't intentional. So when putting on the bomber jacket, really factor in, where does this hit me on my body? And then that's the only reason why I would say factor in that bomber jacket when getting ready, is consider, what pants am I wearing at the bottom? And does that match up with the bomber jacket? Now, for this style guide for the bomber jacket, I wanted to play in those proportions like we just discussed. High-waisted maxi skirt, cinches in right at the waist, and then the bomber jacket that you've added ties in perfectly with that because it's also a cropped bomber jacket. So now when you go to zip up your jacket, nothing's peeking out. You have no weird excess fabric. And it's also a good example of a way that, bomber jackets don't necessarily need to be masculine. Whereas here we have a little bit longer of a bomber jacket and a little bit longer of a top. And yet again, we're pairing it perfectly in that regard. If you are someone who wants to factor that outerwear jacket in, then let it be factored in with proportions rather than styling the look around it. I love this look overall. I really love this plaid skirt. But yeah, this is a very me look. I want it. This is these style guides are a way for me to make the outfit and feel like I have it in a way without actually buying them. So, thank you for letting me have fun doing that. Up next, we have vests. As we know, I'm a lover of vests. So, let's give you some outfit inspo. In its most basic element, a vest just looks phenomenal with a white t shirt and blue jeans. If you're someone who's prone to wearing very simple outfits with no layers, take what you would wear typically and pop a vest on top to see. It'll definitely change the look entirely and can allow you kind of to experiment more with your fashion. Vests have the ability to be styled very masculine or very feminine or, just androgynous, which is something I really enjoy about owning vests. It allows me to play around kind of in all spectrums of fashion. It almost feels more versatile than some of my other pieces in that way. Vests are really just a layering piece at the end of the day, so you can really put them on top of anything. A really puffy maximalist dress is such a fun way to make your dress something even new. I talked about using vests as a layering piece, but I also want to give this one style guide that actually utilizes the vest without having a shirt underneath. Technically, this would be considered a waistcoat, but also it falls under vest in that regard. You don't necessarily need to style something underneath, especially with this one that is high on the neck. This look to me, if I had the money, I'd buy this entire look right now. I actually have a very similar vest that I crocheted, and I think I could kind of recreate this outfit. But everything about this look is a yes to me. In its essence, this is just a white t-shirt and a pair of slacks, and throwing on that vest makes the outfit stand out compared to what it was before. So we're playing it up just a little bit further with this look where we're adding actually a striped long sleeve underneath. I think a turtleneck vest or mock neck vest is kind of perfect for fall if you're someone who does overheat. Alyssa, I'm looking at you, where you're kind of protected up here, keeps you warm, but because your arms have a lot more room to breathe, that it actually balances it out in a way where you don't feel like you're overheating the second you walk outside. Ironically enough, vests can also help kind of cinch in an outfit. It's this additional element that adds dimension, adds texture to the look. If you ever feel like an outfit is not working in your favor, try adding on a vest and see if that's going to make the final difference in the outfit. I'm sure many of you have seen this vest before if you watch any of my styling videos. So I thought it'd be fun to do side by sides, a more feminine and masculine way to style vests because I really feel like that's one of the best parts about owning a vest. Like I said, we're taking a very basic outfit, just a pair of black slacks and a white top and throwing something on top. Up next, we have the sweatshirt. And what I brought up earlier, with the gingham boxer short about how you can't really dress it up. Contrary to what you may be thinking, I actually think you can dress up a sweatshirt a little bit and make it look pretty nice if you have the right pieces. So, for example, I think a great way to kind of elevate the sweatshirt, if that's what you're looking for, is layering a long blouse underneath, a nice pair of slacks, or even a nice pair of straight leg pants and a loafers of some sort. That outfit tends to look pretty great together. I also love a sweatshirt with a maxi skirt. I think it's a fun combination. I think it falls into shapeless a little bit if you have kind of a sweatshirt that's pretty loose fitting, but if you have one that's a little bit more tailored, either one of those combinations, you can't go wrong with it in my opinion. But say it's, the weather's too hot for you or you don't necessarily like layering a lot of stuff underneath your sweatshirt. I think getting some more funky patterned pieces, messing around with designs and colors can help elevate that sweatshirt outfit in a way. Actually, and on that note, I would also say, take some of your nicer quality items, maybe more tailored pieces, and try mixing that around with the sweatshirt. Sometimes pairing a lot of more upscale items with one item that's kind of contradictory can end up creating a really cool cohesive look overall. So I want to play into that oversized blouse sweatshirt with this style guide. The one thing I don't really own is an oversized blouse, so I haven't really gotten to ever play into that. And I personally tend to really wear my sweatshirts for comfort above all else. But if I had to wear it in a way where it's a little bit cooler, this is that freaking look. I might thrift one. I'm doing a fall thrift with me soonish. So if you guys want to see that, let me know and I definitely will record it. I'm going to be so honest with you guys. I will not be styling any sweatshirt looks because if given the option to wear a sweatshirt, I'm gonna wear a casual outfit. I want to be comfy and a sweatshirt's comfiness. So the closest thing I have for you guys is my really loose fitting wide leg tailored slacks and then my mules. And that's it. Because I'm just gonna wear these with leggings probably. Next, we have a maxi skirt styled in a casual way, which I love. There's definitely a lot of ways you can style maxi skirts casually. Say play into weird proportions. So, like I said earlier about taking an item that may be kind of more low key and pairing it with more elegant elements, we can now do it in reverse, right? If the maxi skirt is the fanciest item in the bunch, pair it with items that aren't as fancy. Loose fitting t-shirt, oversized t-shirts, long sleeve that doesn't really hug your body super tight. And alternatively, instead of a boot or heel of some sort, try going for sneakers or even flip-flops. There's some really immediate key ways in which the maxi skirt can be played down. So my immediate reaction to style it would be taking it more of a sportier route. So, we popped on a pair of sneakers on the bottom, added a little ankle sock, not necessarily that you could see it, but I think ankle socks can actually make an outfit a lot more casual. And overall, I think this is a really simple but effective way to really downplay that maxi skirt. I also thought it'd be helpful to maybe give you a visual aid of how you can take that maxi skirt from fancy to casual by giving you kind of two style guides of what I would do if you wanted fancy or what I would do if you wanted casual. Here we have a maxi skirt styled casually. It had a lot of moving parts with it, so if you liked it, definitely like the video. I had a lot of fun making our little style guides and styling our outfits together. I don't know. Subscribe if you're feeling crazy. I don't know. Who said that? On a real note, have a lovely rest of your day.